to protect the vulnerable people in our communities too. So,
hey, it's Khryke versus
wow,
Junebug.
it's Khryke versus Junebug. DK versus Marth. This is kind of hard for June.
I used to play this matchup a decent amount, actually.
Really?
Not a lot.
What side?
Marth. I used to be a Marth man. And I played a decent amount for DK is like 3 times, right? I used to play against NJ's Finest on occasion.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah. Great fashion sense, that guy.
And dance.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Zets and NJ's Finest. You know where NJ's Finest tag comes from?
I do not know that.
He used to play with Mewtwo a lot, who was the king of New Jersey. And when NJ's Finest used to play him, like, and Mewtwo used to be bad, like NJ's Finest would like beat him or something, or like kill him and be like, I'm New Jersey's Finest. I'm better than Mewtwo.
Huh.
Yeah. So NJ's Finest is actually just a dig, a very old dig at Jason Zimmerman from Cinnaminson, New Jersey.
Wow. I know my dad is from Cinnaminson.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Does he know the Zimmerman?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
There's
There's multiple people in Cinnaminson, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a huge little area.
I only know 2 people there.
So far, Junebug, you know, usually I'm the grounding force. Junebug was the grounding force.
June was, oh, yeah. So we have to adapt again.
Yeah, we have to readapt.
Okay. I'll ground.
Yeah, well, you can, but we rely on your wit to entertain the younger generation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is the June special, actually.
What's that?
Like, he like invented crouch canceling. Not literally, because I think there was some, we recently found some documentation that it was actually ideated by Sakurai in like 1980 or something.
Like he thought of using like as a stance to counter things.
I am gonna have to get more into it because it is actually fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Later,
yeah.
But June is like taught the region how to crouch cancel, like
how to do it well.
Yeah, or like how much you can employ it. And he's maybe one of the best crouchers in the world.
Yeah, was always very good at it, even very early on when it was catching on.
Yes, yeah. yes. Was very hip to it early on. Ooh, wow! Oh, it actually saves him. June, don't laugh.
Well, I wasn't keeping track of what moves he's used so far. It looked like no weird ones though, right?
It looked like no weird
all
ones.
All normal moves, yeah.
Are you counting all the throws?
No,
it's too much.
Yeah, you're just gonna up throw.
He's not gonna down throw.
No, I wouldn't expect all that. That's asking too much. The down throw's kind of funny though.
Ooh!
Yeah, you just like shove him into the ground.
That is brutal. One of the most brutal throws. Tied, I think, with Bowser just falling on you, like belly flopping.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Oh wow, tech chasing. Never mind. Oh, okay, you see it right there. June gets, if you're not playing around June's CC grab, which he can do on like Marth D-tilt, which he's been doing since like 2018, freak stuff, honestly, then he will just always, you will barely take a stock off him. Especially as DK, his punish is so consistent. The thing that I was talking about with crouch cancel is recently on Twitter I saw a scratch note or planning diagram that Sakurai made of Kirby.
Or like his characters, yeah.
Yes, Kirby was like the example model where he sort of like describes the way that Smash would work with like dying off of the blast zone. And he also had an idea that if you're crouching, you'd take less damage or go not as far.
Like it's a defensive stance because you can't move, right?
Right, yes. Additionally, you would take more damage if you got caught from behind, if you got crossed up. Yeah, so crouch canceling had its first mention by the creator of the game in the 80s.
That's wild.
Yes, so even saw, I think Essie was like, what if crouch canceling didn't work if they were behind you? Kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
I think, right? I think that's a pretty good balance, or like an interesting balance element.
I would favor it.
I
have
also
to tell you, yeah.
Because
characters that move fast aren't good enough already.
Well, I think there's significant. Okay, I think there's significant risk to crossing someone up, and it also is a display of a skill that I value, which is like, like outplaying your opponent in some way to get behind them.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to catch them not doing anything because they're trying to react to you or something like that. It's kind of like it feels similar to like breaking someone's ankles in basketball.
Yes,
you know?
agreed, absolutely.
You catch like their weight shifting the wrong way, and then you can get behind them.
But yeah, I think like crouch cancel being a very strong mechanic in Melee. Only getting stronger, honestly. That's interesting.
I think that if I'm Junebug, after hearing me say like, "Can you get all?" I didn't remember who the opponent was.
Yes.
In Winners Finals. Kind of rude to go for a bingo card of moves versus someone, isn't it? Like, it's like he probably doesn't want to do that. I didn't think about the person on the receiving end.
Yeah, that's right.
And like Khryke's like really good.
Oh my! Are you teaching the chat empathy?
I mean,
are you displaying empathy right now?
I think that Melee, both in the game and in the community, teaches empathy to its students.
Yes. What? To its students, I love as well. That's a Scarism, it feels like.
That's it? I'll take it.
Well, like, it seems like something he would say. We're all students of the game. This beautiful game we're playing 20 years after its release.
I know. I mean, I agree with those sentiments, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done a Scar, I don't think.
Done a Scar?
Done a Scar impression.
Oh, yeah, I try to stay away from it. There was one guy in Philly Melee who I don't know if he's still in Japan or not. One guy, Mark II, who was very good at it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I'm June, yes. Well, you did say if it gets too easy, right? So in some ways, it's kind.
That's almost, no, I don't know. Well, we're on a last stock scenario. I noticed that Khryke has severely slowed the pace down. Is no longer trying to just hit Junebug. And I mean, this is, it sounds really simple. But as Marth, so often switching your mindset from I'm going to hit them to I'm going to not get hit is the way to go.
Interesting. So can you break that down?
Yes. Marth is fast. Marth has big sword.
Yes.
Marth has decent punish.
Yes.
And so he's able to avoid moves really well. And a player of Khryke's caliber will, like, reflexively, when a move is dodged, punish it in an appropriate way. So if you put your focus on dodging the move, I mean, this is how Zane got his start, right? Dodge a move, and then probably before he even realized it, had them grabbed or something.
Yes.
And a lot of Marths, you know, when they're playing well, they play that sort of evasive style. And you know, and we saw maybe is still in the mode versus Puff, because against Puff you're kind of playing like the spacing game, right? You're just like, you can't come over here, this is my zone, whatever. I guess Donkey Kong and Junebug, maybe that's not the move. Donkey Kong's not that fast. You don't have to deny him space that often.
Like, you could be, yes.
Like you need to check him like doing a wave dash back air every now and then or something.
Yes, but those are the points when perhaps he's weak, or you can exploit the advantages in the matchup from range, you know.
Yeah, but I think Khryke's been adjusting the like amount of, you know, late forward air. There was like more of it before, and now there's a lot more like a little wave dash back, a little dash back, that sort of thing. Yes,
yes, and I think he also like forcing the issue like that definitely is something that June feeds on. And it makes you liable to getting like whip punished
or crouch canceled.
Yeah, particularly.
Yeah, and I mean, there's this sort of like guiding. I called it the secret of Melee to the UD, like the UD people back in the day, is that the way that you perceive the game relative to the current information you have, players can only be really in 3 places: in front of where they were currently, in place, or behind. DK is not so threatening, like if he's backing up, right? Like Marth is, because you can get whip punch. Wow, went deep.
Genius. He's a genius again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, this I was sort of maybe getting to this before in a more roundabout, less explainable way. If Marth doesn't really have much need to press forward, right? Like that's about as far, like Marth holding space and backing up, probably all you need to win the matchup. Now the occasional extension, especially if you're a heart type player or whatever, is important to get yourself going, but...
Oh, turn around for the punch actually kills off the top.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
I was done. You're good.
Oh, okay. But I think you're right, and like, Khryke literally actually died. The opening was like drifting in with Nair or something. Yeah. When we saw like June was backing up, and you're right, like what is DK really going to do over there to contest your space, and Khryke pressing in, I think, made them liable.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's a funny concept. It's only funny in this particular match. It's called Donkey Space. I think we talked about Donkey Space on former commentary blocks, right?
I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it's funny because it's Donkey Kong. when you're playing against a player like June, he might realize that Khryke has started to recognize the safer options and is no longer doing the one thing. But if you take that out of your mix-up rotation altogether, out of your neutral game, Junebug can prey on that. He'll do something that's extra risky, like high risk, medium reward, but
you're
you
not,
know
if
it
you're not
works.
punishing it. Yeah,
And so playing in donkey space is knowing how often to do the suboptimal thing.
Ah, yes, okay. I sometimes do this where I did something bad and I went, it's a mix-up.
That's basically true.
It's basically it,
Yeah,
right?
but some like really good players will consciously do the thing that maybe is not the best at key times against other good players. Just because it's unexpected, right? And it's not because the option is risky, it's because they expect it will be. And when you're playing a character like Donkey Kong, the reason it's not a super strong character is you have to extend even farther. You have to be extra willing to make that big risk. Right?
It's the doing the suboptimal thing at the right time. It's worse because the suboptimal thing is subber.
Yes.
Even more sub.
Yeah, or harder to achieve or something. Yeah. Which I feel like is the case. In any case, Khryke's got a game, June's got 2.
Did Khryke pick this? I think Khryke counterpicked this.
Maybe.
Interesting. I do think the
Donkey Kong's recovery is not all that, right?
Wow, it's not all that. It's not all that. The rinse and repeat is pretty easy. Yeah.
That's what I'm
And I also think like whatever punish June has on you that's consistent, that maybe you don't have all of the tools. You don't have the time to figure it out. You don't have the time to like try different DIs or whatever. You know, having the Dreamland survivability is an asset.
Yeah. And platform's high. Sometimes that can mess people up, you know? You gotta move.
Oh yeah,
faster
that's true.
around.
That's true. Yeah. To continue platform combos, it's a little bit harder.
And so I'm not what I would consider a Donkey Kong savant or anything, right? Like I don't know that much about Donkey Kong. But what I can imagine, DKS. Yeah. But what I can imagine is it's more difficult to do those up air strings if you DI to the side platform and then back to the center than it is with somewhere like Battlefield where they're closer together on the x-axis.
Yes. I think Stadium also, like for that same reason, makes it a little bit easier, is because low platform, it's in a pretty good height to catch people as they're still are exiting hit stun, and then obviously the low ceiling, as closer as it is to the platform, like is a good combination for DK's lethality.
Lethality, that's a good word choice, good diction.
Thank you. I'm trying to express some volubility. Oh, his grab got grabbed.
Don't you love to see it? Especially Marth does that a lot.
Especially Marth, yeah.
Okay, Khryke, I noticed, has less stocks than Junebug.
And games.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough. I think, I don't know. It's tough for Khryke, I think, one, because, like, I don't know if they've played before, but the first time you play June's DK is definitely, there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And stuff that you have to know, i.e. the things that can get grabbed into 0 to death or whatever. Those specific situations, like that specific knowledge, less game sense. He lost the punch. He lost the donkey punch, but did a crouch or like holding down smash instead.
Yeah, you know, Junebug using DK's down smash more than I'm used to other DKs using it.
Yes.
And one thing I've noticed, and you know June a lot better than I do, is June appears to use a very different selection of moves based on the matchup. Like, really different. Like, there's 0 down tilts in this, and there were many in the Ganon set.
Wow. Oh my god. June 3-stocked him. Wow. That was pretty dominant from June. I think maybe the Stadium game was a little bit dicey. But honestly...
Otherwise, pretty strong showing, huh?
It looked worse.
Would this be the
biggest tournament that a DK will win?
Yeah.
Let's not count our donkeys before they come.
I won't. It's just these Winterside Grand Finals. The narrative here is that this could be the largest tournament that a Donkey Kong has ever won. There were
numbers
over 100.
Over 120. Wow,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of entrants.
Yes.